What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about why you need polarity in relationships. So polarity in short is basically it's that spark, it's that chemistry that occurs between two opposing energies, right? So you have masculine and feminine. So in a relationship, you'll have one partner that shows a preference, assumes one role, let's say the masculine, and you have the other partner that assumes a more feminine role. And you have natural preferences towards one of these roles, and I think it's also important to note that this operates outside of gender as well. So you can have a man at times exhibit feminine traits within a relationship, and you can have a woman at times exhibit masculine traits. I would venture to guess most of you have seen this with your parents. Maybe it's in a relationship you're in now where you have this couple start off with this fire, this zest, and this passion in the relationship, and then things change, life, stress, work gets in the way, and over time the relationship becomes depolarized. And so when depolarization happens, this is what makes our bodies rigid. We don't have that natural flow of life to give. We're stuck in this sedentary frame where we're not able to give our fullest gift within this relationship. And many problems in relationships can be traced back to depolarization, right? So it's when one partner feels this need to overcompensate with the opposing energy, which creates this conflict between the two. So I think a classic example here is in the US. Let's say you have a traditional family. The dad works his 9-to-5 job. He comes home and he's got his wife who's helping raise the 3 kids. So he comes home from work, but work was stressful. People were screaming and shouting in the office. His coworkers were making fun of him because he spilled coffee on his t-shirt. A homeless person was running through the streets on his way home and happened to just nick his car a little bit. And so he's just coming home, man. He's stressed out. He just wants to relax, all right? But when he gets home, the wife's been dealing with the kids all day. Like, she needs help. So what happens is the husband comes home. He turns on the TV. He wants to catch the last quarter of the Cowboys game. So he's watching TV. And in the other room, the wife is saying, "Hey, Robert, I could really use your help with the kids. I need help putting them to sleep." But alas, there's 10 minutes left in the game. Cowboys are down by 6. They're on the 1-yard line. There's a lot going on in this football game. So in this moment, Robert has a critical decision to make. Does he press pause, or does he turn the TV off and choose his family, which is his first priority? Or does he say, "Hey babe, just 10 more minutes and I'll come help you put the kids to sleep"? There's a great chance the wife's gonna be like, "All right, whatever." Like, she's not gonna be thrilled about it, but she's like, "Okay, this matters to me. I had a stressful day at work." That's fine. Is she going to resent him? Probably not. But in that moment, was there a loss of polarity in the relationship? Absolutely. Because the thing is he's communicating to her that this football game, what I'm doing over here, is more important than you and our family. So fast forward 10 minutes, the Cowboys win. Robert's happy. He's jumping up and down. He's got the cheese ball dust on his fingertips, and he's just he's happy, man. Is the wife happy though? Probably not. She's probably just still in the other room waiting for him to come help out. It's the little compromises like this that over time will slowly depolarize it. Alright, so I'll use an example here for men. This Friday night, you guys got Rezzies at Dorsia. You guys are at the dinner table, looking over the menu. The server comes over, pours you guys a glass of the house wine. And dude, you're just looking across, and she's got this tight bodycon dress on, and her hair's up, her makeup's done. She's got those sexy earrings that you like, dude, and she's just looking fine as and then the girl looks over at the guy, and man, he's like looking dapper, dude. He's got his collared shirt on, his sleeves are rolled up, he's got maybe like a little bow tie action, something going on here. He's got that Paco Rabanne cologne on that's just really kind of lingering, and your senses are getting all juiced up and whatnot. But the food comes out, and oh no, what happens? She takes her phone out, and she's like, "All right, babe, just hold on a second." And he's just looking at her, and she's just taking pictures, right? Oh, shit, but the angle's off. Oh, let me put the flash on. So 5 minutes goes by, you finally get a good picture, you post it, and then, you're back to the conversation. And normally, I really don't think this isn't a huge deal, but if he was in the middle of telling you something that was stressful about his day, or he's venting to you about something that happened that last week at work or family or whatever, in that moment you communicated to him that getting this picture, putting it online, whatever, was more important than this conversation that he was trying to have with you. And 99% of the time, like, he's not going to care, he's not going to say anything. But on a much larger macro scale, those small, seemingly insignificant decisions can affect the relationship. And so, and you know, the whole point of this is not to get you in your head too much about having this perfect relationship. No one's perfect. There's no perfect relationship. There's no perfect time that you have together, right? You're always going to have misunderstandings and conflict that are going to be present even in the most healthy of relationships. So just segueing here, the act of love is most demonstrated in conflict and in hardships where sacrifices have to be made and where commitments are tested. The couple that has become familiar with conflict will always outlast the couple that depends on the fluctuations of passion to grow their relationship. And I think another way that polarity can suffer in a relationship is through this idea of over-familiarization. When you start a relationship, you're learning so much about the other person, your emotions are heightened by this sense of curiosity, and then eventually maybe you arrive at this place where you're like, all right, well, I know everything about them. We can just kind of coast our way through and so be it. So you guys do things together, you have fun together, blah, 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 but there's no upward momentum. There's no love that's actually being built. And I'll say this, you can't understand and study a person the same way that you would do like a book or a test that you're studying, right? It's like humans are mysteries. We are all inexhaustible, infinite mysteries of soulful wonder. And if you have this approach that once you have all of this data down or this information of what they like to eat or these kind of shallow things, it's like you are going to set your relationship up for something that is going to lack depth and is going to lack substance. And so I think one of the biggest things that you can do to maintain polarity within a relationship is to constantly be restarting this frame of mind that you really don't know anything about this person. It's better to start each day with a blank slate, getting to know them on a much more intimate level, pick their brain, get inside their brain. This kind of sounds intense, and it is intense. Love is a radical adventure of self-discovery as you discover someone else. And I think one of the quickest ways to sabotage polarity is to feel like you know everything about this person. And so a way to combat that is through distance, actually, which seems counterintuitive. But when you have mutually agreed upon times where you're not spending together, you can really grow. You can come back together with just this freshness for the relationship to where you can, grow it into something greater than had you been together 24/7 constantly. There's a quote by Osho. He was like this Eastern philosopher back a couple decades ago, and he says, rest periods are needed. Nobody can love on order. Love is a spontaneous phenomenon. Whenever it happens, and whenever it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Nothing can be done about it. If you do anything, you will create a pseudo-phenomenon in acting. Don't try to force something that isn't there. If you need distance, have distance, and have the maturity to respect that about someone else. And this concept is what keeps lovers from being roommates. So to create relationship polarity, you gotta fully embrace each other's energy. And the only way to do that, a lot of the times, especially if you've got someone with a real strong masculine frame or a real strong feminine frame, is sometimes you got to take a step back and recharge your batteries. Whether you're an introvert, extrovert, it doesn't matter. You still need time away and time alone to go deep within yourself, and then you can come back. And each of these polarities, they want to be received by the other person, right? So the masculine energy desires to be respected and feeling like their contributions to the relationship and to whatever else they're working towards are appreciated. And so if you can learn to cheerlead those things, that purpose and that ambition that the masculine feels so strongly, that's what's going to help grow the relationship. And with the feminine energies, they want to feel safe and protected and cared for and truly understood for who they are. And in doing so, when you provide that place, that allows them to have that natural flow of love that just blooms everything around them into this eternal, beautiful bliss. And so the masculine partner needs to learn to receive the feminine's energy, despite maybe at times it being sporadic or not quite as logical, because the feminine energy, it's it's this energy that seems to be constantly in motion, and to try to harness it and try to control it will only damage it. One of the best things that the masculine can do for the feminine is to just provide that with with his presence. Women with strong feminine essences very rarely want their problems actually solved. More times than not, she just wants her problems heard. And with the feminine, something that would help them with their relationship with the masculine is to not be intimidated by that presence, especially if the man has like a very strong masculine frame, but to surrender to it. If she can surrender to it, that will in turn magnify her own feminine traits. And I think it's important to note here as well that this is a shared responsibility among the two. They have this equal responsibility to foster an environment that magnifies the other's energy. So if you have two people committed to doing that, man, that's a powerful thing. Anyways, guys, that's all I got. Hope this video helps, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one.